Florian Wirtz, what is your favorite thing about him and why is he regarded as being one of the hot prospects in Germany?
Well, thanks for inviting me to speak about Florian Wirtz. He's really interesting player to watch. He can create chances in tight spaces. He always wants the ball. He can play under pressure. Um, he never goes missing in games. He can ride a tackle. So he has lots of different assets to his game. He's maybe not the one is one of the biggest names in European football, but he's got a certain reputation in Germany. Normal scheme of things, Bayern Munich would be, very interested in a player like Florian Wirtz, but they seem to be priced out of the market, and they have their own gem in Jamal Musiala, who's a similar type player with the world at his feet as well. So Bayern were priced out of this a little bit. Bayern were, I think, willing to go to around 100 million euros, and Bayer Leverkusen wanted more, and they knew that they could get more from the Premier League. Manchester City were priced out of it a little bit as well, I think. So Bayern, that would be especially greedy, really, to have both Wirtz and Musiala in the team. They leave that to Germany. Germany are going to be good to watch with them too.
As you just mentioned, Jamal Musiala, what specific qualities set Wirtz apart from the likes of Musiala? And also we've seen Kai Havertz obviously in the Premier League as well.
He's definitely a different player to Havertz, Kai Havertz. He's a different build, for example, a lot smaller, but he can create chances out of nothing. He loves thriving in tight spaces, jinking, riding a tackle, and he can provoke tackle. Expecting to win a few penalties for Liverpool. Um, yeah, he's different skill set, slightly different skill set to Jamal Musiala, but they both really want the ball. They always want the ball, and they very rarely go missing in games.
Is he a player that is a leader on the pitch?
He can be like a quiet leader. He leads by example. He's not a really outgoing type personality, but he is a quiet leader on the pitch and he leads by example. I've seen him, if there is a negative, I've seen him in Champions League, say against Atletico Madrid, where he reacted too strongly to some really heavy defending, what Atletico Madrid have become renowned for in the Champions League at times, and he didn't prosper that night. So it's going to be interesting to see, if but in the modern day, these players are protected by the referee. You can't get away with the roughhouse treatment from a few years ago, that's for sure.
Obviously, he is going to be regarded as being the main outlet for creativity in that midfield role. Where do you think he will fit in Arne Slot's system?
Well, he has a luxury of choices, thinking that Arne Slot's going to have to get rid of a few, luxury items. It's going to be interesting to see where Cody Gakpo,
Yeah.
the rumors that Bayern Munich are interested in him, for example. But it's interesting that Liverpool, having won the Premier League, they're choosing to invest a lot of money in Florian Wirtz, but they have the confidence to do that. They know what they're getting. They've been properly scouting him for a few years now, and seeing how he thrived under Xabi Alonso, winning Leverkusen's first ever Bundesliga title. So they're confident that this is the type of money which will see them through the next few seasons and aiming for the Champions League, of course, take it on to another level.
How do you think that will suit Florian?
Well, it's gonna work naturally in front of the cop. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in away from home, where the fans are not on his side; they're on his back. Liverpool maybe has less possession, but he's good. He's got the talent to thrive in the Premier League, not just in the Premier League, Champions League as well, which
And
he
do you think
wasn't able to do really with Leverkusen. He didn't, but he had a few injuries during their matches against Bayern Munich this season, which they lost both games really in a real tepid fashion, with Florian Wirtz basically a spectator because of injury. So he'll be looking to do it on the biggest stage, which is the Champions League.
Do you think Liverpool can go deeper into the Champions League and potentially go on and win the double and retain the Premier League as well with the addition of Florian Wirtz?
Liverpool will be always looking for the Champions League with their proud record in Europe over many, many, many years. So, yeah, that's where they're heading. I expect them to really go deep next season in the Champions League with Wirtz running the show in attacking midfield.
Do you think Wirtz will have that struggle when he first comes to the Premier League? Do you think he has the maturity and the adaptability to quickly mold into the way Liverpool play?
Wirtz is going to come with a huge transfer fee, which automatically creates its own pressure. I expect him to, if he can stay injury free, which is the same for any footballer. They need a bit of luck with injuries. He has the talent and all the skills to thrive at a successful club like Liverpool. Absolutely.
And how do German fans see Wirtz?
But because he's not playing for Bayern Munich, maybe he flies under the radar a little bit. He doesn't have a huge, a huge following. He's not a major star. Yeah. Playing for Leverkusen keeps you a little bit under the radar. So he's not going to come to England, as a global superstar, which allows him to, play with less expectation perhaps and more freedom, and he can express that on the pitch. But he has all the talent to go to the next level at Liverpool, that's for sure.
So is he someone that who will be able to embrace the spotlight and also embrace the pressure that comes with playing with Liverpool?
I think he can thrive on it now. Given the right, teammates who need support from the teammates to settle in. He has, a sound character. He's a really humble young man, and he, I'll repeat again, given a fair run of injury-free time, he has all the skills to take it to the next level.
Obviously, we've seen players playing that false nine role. Could Wirtz possibly be a potential in that Liverpool central role?
He can play anywhere. He can, if you're playing with people like Mo Salah and, all these other, brilliant players, you can slot in here and there, find the gaps, chink through the channels. He has the talent to adapt to any system, I'd imagine. It just needs a clear explanation from the coach. And these are the players like Salah and Florian Wirtz. They can thrive in any system if they're happy and free to express themselves in a positive manner. Well, he was especially influential in Leverkusen's first ever Bundesliga title,
Title.
which happened under Xabi Alonso. It's no real surprise for me personally. They're both leaving the club at basically the same stage. Alonso's going to Real Madrid, take them over, and now Wirtz is going. They both decided to stay on for another season to try and get some more silverware. So, yeah, Wirtz was so influential in Leverkusen's title win. So many, creating goals really late. They developed a reputation for scoring late goals, those crucial late goals that you need to win a title. So those were the moments we'll stick in. He creates chances out of nothing from tight spaces.